Good evening. This is CTV News for Friday, March 10th. I'm Rochelle Metzger.
And I'm Patricia Vallone. Thank you for joining us tonight. Well, Native Americans march in D.C. protesting the Dakota Access Pipeline and President Trump's policies regarding indigenous tribes. Marchers began at Judiciary Square. We caught up with them at the Trump International Hotel. Indigenous people from across the country descended on the nation's capital this morning with a very specific message.
Water is life.
Little Thunder is one of hundreds protesting the nearly 1,200-mile Dakota Access Pipeline, which would run underground from North Dakota to Illinois. The controversial project was recently expedited under the Trump administration.
Because it's destroying the earth, grandmother earth. We need our grandkids and our kids to live someplace in the future. So that's why the politicians got to think about their children and their grandchildren, all the people that are on this earth, just not the humans, the animals, the trees, the grass. The whole planet is in danger.
It's not just for Native Americans, it's for everyone. Everyone needs water. It doesn't matter what color you are, what race, what color, we all need fresh water.
The Native Americans joined many supporters out here to bring the message that water is life.
With the Nippon-san Myoji Buddhist monks, actually, we're praying for water because water is sacred and water is life.
We are from New Hampshire and Massachusetts, and we took the opportunity to support a great cause. I don't want Donald Trump to ruin our planet.
Honor the treaties!
Honor the treaties!
Water is life!
And today's protest brought in at least one former Maryland official.
I think there's a lot that we have to learn from the wisdom of indigenous people, and it's absolutely wrong that we should plow pipelines through native lands, and it's wrong that we should continue to treat the earth like it's some sort of used car to be driven into the ground and depleted. I mean, we need to find ways to live in harmony with nature and not against it.
Protesters arrived in D.C. on Wednesday and immediately began lobbying members of Congress on the pipeline issue. Many plan to stay through the weekend. And the march ended in front of the White House, where a host of participants spoke about the pipeline and water quality issues.
Maryland joins a lawsuit filed by nearly a dozen other states opposing a revised travel ban imposed by President Donald Trump. Officials claim that it sends the wrong message to international engineers, scientists, and other professionals that they are not wanted in this country. Maryland Attorney General Brian Frosh says the order still bans people from 6 Muslim countries: Somalia, Iran, Syria, Sudan, Libya, and Yemen. Meantime, President Trump meets with House Republican leaders to discuss their efforts to pass a sweeping overhaul of the Affordable Care Act. During comments to reporters, Trump congratulated the lawmakers for advancing legislation through 2 committees this week and voiced optimism about the road ahead. The meeting comes at the close of a week of discord between the most conservative members of Congress and House GOP leaders, who are divided over key pieces of the health care bill. Meantime, Democrats are united in their opposition to the measure.
Its major feature is a huge tax cut, a $600 billion tax cut, primarily for the wealthiest people in this country. If you're in the top 0.1%, you actually get a $200,000 tax cut on average. And that is done at the expense of everybody else in the country, because they're cutting back on access to affordable health care for millions of Americans.
House Speaker Paul Ryan and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell say they want the health care bill on President Trump's desk by the end of April.
6 people, including a 3-week-old infant, are alive and well tonight thanks to a quick-thinking Prince George's County police officer. Byron Scott has our story.
I thought it was thundering because I heard all this pop, 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 pop.
It was just before 1 o'clock this morning when this woman says she was awakened by the sounds of a raging fire right next door.
I just got up and my window cracked at that time.
Her name is Mary Ann. She didn't give us her last name. Mary Ann called 911 just before a police officer who was on routine patrol in the area banged on her door and told her to get out.
Flames was just coming out of the roof. The roof was on fire from the back of the house to the roof.
The fire erupted at a house on the 6400 block of Symposium Way in Clinton. The heat was so intense it melted the siding on Mary Ann's home. The house where the fire started was gutted. Inside were a man, his wife, 2 other adults, a 10-year-old child, and a 3-week-old baby.
Shocked at first.
Corporal GLEN CARADORI was that officer on routine patrol who saw the flames.
So I started to bang on the door and the windows to try to get someone's attention, ringing the doorbell, pounding on the door, yelling, with no response. At this point, I went to the rear of the house, see if I could gain access to the house, but the rear of the house was fully engulfed and it was too hot. I responded back to the front of the house and went back to the door, was pounding on the door, ringing the doorbell with still no response. So I took my asp baton and I smashed out the glass along the edge of the windows to try to reach inside to unlock one of the locks to try to gain entry. Upon smashing this glass out, I think that finally woke up the homeowners. I heard someone yelling down, like, what's going on, who's down there? At this point, I said, police, your house is on fire, you need to get out of the house.
This situation resonates with me because I also have kids as well.
Sergeant SHAUN URBINA was also at the scene last night.
As the family was exiting the dwelling, smoke was funneling out of the windows, funneling out of the front door, and it was black soot was spread all over the family members.
Investigators say a barbecue grill was the source of the fire, and while the family lost everything, no one died or was injured.
I feel good. I mean, I feel good that I was there. Luckily, I was there. I happened to be in the right area at the right time, and right place at the right time, I should say, and it feels good.
Byron Scott, CTV News.